Greetings. We are here in Justice League headquarters, and we got with us Chief Richard Coleman. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, my brother. How you doing?
All right, doing excellent. Now, before we get started with you, Chief, today is a special day. Today is October 9th, 1779. Oops, wait a minute. It's October 9th, 2024. On October 9th, 1779, something happened in Savannah, Georgia, in Chatham County, Georgia, and we got to pay some homage, got to pay some credit, and share with regard to that. So this is for all y'all checking out Ron Tell That. We say share. Glad to have y'all with us. And so we're going to do this. Then we're going to come back to the Chief and then delve into things regarding the Chief. On this day, October 9th, 1779, between 500 and 800 Affranchi, free men will come from Haiti and fight in the American Revolution for the U.S. become a nation in Savannah, Georgia. They are the largest parts of the French forces. See, in American history or American mythology, we give credit to France, but not acknowledging, you acknowledge the Europeans, but not the Africans who come from Haiti who fight for the U.S. become a nation. And in many cases, they are the largest part of the French forces. Black men are sent from the Caribbean that now fight for the U.S. become a nation. The United States would not be a nation if it was not for Haitian participation. School kids in Haiti know what happened in Savannah, but most Americans don't have a clue. And then y'all don't want to know anything about history. And you all going to come with fear of CRT. You don't know American history, so you can't be fearful of CRT. So yes, Haitian men, black men come from Haiti fighting in the American Revolution. And it is shameful and despicable and disgusting today that when you have people in the Republican Party and others who go and try to make comments about Haitians right now today, you wouldn't have a nation if you talk about you are a patriot if it was not for Haitians. But no, your racism kicks in. Your racism have you go to France, but you don't even know your own doggone history where it was Haitian men, black men who fought right here in the American Revolution. And guess what? The only king to come out of the American Revolution, again, the only king to come out of the American Revolution is an African king who literally go back and help Haiti become the first black nation in the world. And for black folks, Haiti represented freedom in the entire Americas. They fought in South America. They fought, again, supporting the efforts in the United States and throughout the world, even sending support, getting letters of support to Greece. So again, when y'all talk about the Haitians, you better understand your history and not the mythology, your arrogance and your racism kicking in. So again, on this day, they fought in Savannah and saved the day for the Patriots. Oh, let me back up. The Chercheurs saved the day for the Patriots. So your founding fathers would not be here right now if it was not for, in the state of Georgia, for the Haitians fighting right here. So show them some respect. IAIT, IAIT, Mother Haiti, Africa Vive, Africa lives. Know your story. Stop with the madness and the insanity and the lies. So, Chief, glad to have you with us. And so we had to pay homage to Haiti because today is the anniversary of what some have called the second bloodiest battle of American Revolution. Some said it was another one, but that's what they've always said. And Haitians stood up for us to have a nation. And here today we have a black man who's standing up also, who say he wants to serve the people. So that's why I say it was kind of fitting with regards to us having Chief Coleman. So we got to do this. How you know how we do in our community. Who are you?
Well, first off, thank you, Dr. Jamal Torre, for having me. You know, it's always an honor to get an invite to stand and talk to you, right? So we really appreciate the opportunity of giving us this platform. But my name is Richard Coleman. Most those who know me know this Chief Coleman. I am and made history myself quite some time ago as becoming the first black chief in the history of Thunderbolt, Georgia, where I was elected and served as interim chief for maybe about a year and a half or so until they were able to fulfill one. But I'm here. I'm a native of Savannah, graduate of Saul C. Johnson High School, neighboring to your Jenkins Warriors down around the street, down on Durin Avenue. I'm educated with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice administration, and knock on wood, in December, I have a master's degree in public administration. I'm a Georgia certified law enforcement executive with 31 years of law enforcement experience. I've been a chief of police, assistant chief of police, chief of internal affairs, but often we police the police. And I've worked many years in law enforcement and service to our community. And I am here running as a candidate, your Democrat candidate for sheriff, to seek the office of sheriff of Chatham County in this 2024 election. Dr. Jamal.
Everybody know I was frozen. I was frozen because he went there. He went there. I was hoping he wasn't going to go there, but he went there. He had to go and talk about the atom smashes.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
We was trying to say that. We was trying to say that, but
well, I like to give a little history about Mr. Saul C. Johnson. Back in the day, as they would say, of course, way before my time, and the story of Carla Brownville, and then of course we always got to pay homage to athlete Eli Beach. But when those blacks couldn't make it all the way across town, they built Saul C. Johnson High School for the East Side for African Americans to come to. So we had Johnson for the East Side, we had Beach for Middle Chatham County, and then we had Tompkins High School over there on the west side. So I always want to remind people that when they hear Johnson, Johnson is a part of that African American history.
He kicked me one time, then he stomped on me, then he put me in the mud. He took it from Johnson to Beach, now to Tompkins.
Yes.
We wasn't supposed to deal with none of that. We wasn't, but see, he had to go there. So I'm trying to get myself back together. Everybody out there, we say share.
Yes.
I'm trying to get myself together. So we're going to do this right now as I try to regroup. So we got to do the same thing we do in our communities. Who your people? Who your people? Who your people, Chief Coleman?
Oh, my people I am the proud son of Coach Roosevelt Pop Coleman, who's been the athletic director over 50 years before he retired at Saul C. Johnson High School, who took on a task during the time that they integrated the high schools and would bus kids all across town, making it a minority to majority, where you could do an M-to-M transfer, minority to majority to these schools. My mother is the first black principal at May Howard Elementary School, which we know at that time that they built that school on the island for that particular area. And she became the first black principal of May Howard. And even before then, she was the first black teacher to integrate Bullitt County school system, where they put her classroom in the basement so she could not be seen around the school. So, with that being said, there's a lot of history, a lot of barrier breaking, a lot of walls being torn down in this Coleman family. And we've been standing up against injustices. As my duty as a law enforcement officer, I've been fighting for justice for people, fighting for victims of those who've been victimized. So we all of our life, the history of our family has been a position of standing up, fighting, particularly in the African American community.
And I'm going to get loud right now because you saw how he behaved. He just like his daddy. He just like his daddy. Just like his daddy. I will be minding my business, and Coach Coleman would come and harass me because he went to some place called FAMU.
FAMU, Die Hard Rally.
It don't even matter what he want to represent. FAMU.
FAMU, yeah.
I'm at the Civil Rights Museum. He harassed me right there. I'm on the streets. He's harassing me about FAMU. I'm in a restaurant. He harassed me about FAMU. That's why I said, you are, yeah, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. And it's a tree that's on the highest of the 7 hills with foolishness. They spread out Tompkins High School, spread out Beach High School, and Saul C. Johnson.
Saul C. Johnson. Yeah.
I had one. I see, because you brought up all this trauma to me right now. I had to think about how Coach Coleman just come up to me. Man, you know, that foolishness right there. Strike.
Yeah. The Rattlers just strike again.
I'm like, yo, okay. So now we're gonna do this right here.
Yes,
we might have some ideas of it, but go ahead and let people know who inspires you. What inspires you?
Oh man, that's a great question. Who inspires me is my father. He's been a true pioneer in our community. You know, as a little boy, I watched coming up where we would we at the time Johnson was receiving kids from his village, Caton Home, and right across from Caton Home, that's the project housing there right across Frazier Homes.
Frazier Homes that belong to Jenkins. If they went over to Caton Homes, they from Frazier Homes, they went over there illegally. Frazier Homes belong to Jenkins.
Yes, we got it from Frazier as well. And as well as West Savannah. As West Savannah started going to Johnson. And you know, the way that he took in a lot of those kids at the time, well, they're now adults, now, but at the time, did not have 2-parent household. And so my father was the father figure. You know, they would come after school and eat. He would go pick them up early Saturday morning. You know, if they needed something to eat, they needed clothes washed, you know, it was just amazing to see a man who gets up early in the morning, leaves late at night, was not only a father to himself, to his kids, but to other kids as well, which these kids are now adults. And it's probably the reason why I get so much love everywhere I go, because of the foundation that he laid in the community for others. And so he definitely inspired me as a man. He inspired me as a professional to always give your best and work hard. And he inspired me spiritually to have understanding for others and to uplift and be that strength when others are weak, and be that pillow when others needs to lay down. He has definitely been that role model, that rock, that foundation in my life, Dr. Perez.
Yeah. And that's why I just said y'all heard him make this statement. Y'all heard him make this statement because Yancey lived in Frazier Homes, but Yancey played for Johnson. And we were like, wait a minute, how is Yancey? He ain't playing for us at Jenkins, but he at Johnson.
He at Johnson. That's right. That's right. I think we have
some of them out of Frazier Home went over to Johnson. I ain't gonna say nothing about Mike Jones. I ain't say about Principal Mike Jones.
Mike Jones, Adam Smasher.
Yeah.
I wish I knew you brought out. I would have brought the yearbook with the afro.
Yes, sir. Mike Jones, playing for
Mike Jones.
So since he's saying all this, Johnson cheated us, and one on the safety, they cheated us 2-0. They beat 2-0. They cheated. They cheated with 2-0 safety. We had shut down their offense, but they had to cheat. And they had allegedly sacked JB, in the end zone. But it was a cheat. But anyway, all right. Let me get it together. I'm gonna get it together. We're gonna get it together.
Absolutely, no, not a problem. I love it.
We go into the more meat and potato, all this right here. We're going to last because get all the trauma going. I did not expect this trauma today. I did not expect all this to be flashbacks. Okay, so again, I got the Tompkins story, and now people, y'all have not heard the Johnson story of the Johnson cheating for 2-0. So we're going with this right here. So Chief, Chief Coleman. What songs give you that? What song when you hear those songs that when you hear, bam, it gives you that spirit, it uplifts you, it gives you that sensation.
Oh man, precious Lord, take my hand.
Okay.
Lead me on and let me stand.
Mm,
I'm weak, I'm tired, I'm worn. But through the storm and through the night, take my hand and lead me to the light. Precious
mm,
Lord, take my hand and lead me on.
mm, mm, mm.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Now,
Um,
all those lyrics might not be in order, but that's in my heart.
right. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to say, I was going to say, precious Lord, that I thought that was fitting because I feel like I need to go on. I need not Cal going to take me away. Lord, take me away from this what's going on right now. The only stuff that I have heard, this trauma, the Lord, take me away. Precious Lord,
Take me away.
grab my hand, precious Lord, and take me
Yeah,
away.
take me
So,
away.
so
Yeah,
it's all, in fact, it's all fitting. And so what we're
yes,
going we have with us Chief Richard Coleman, who's running for office for the sheriff's office here in Chatham County. We're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come back. We're going to take a break. We're going to come right back with Chief Richard Coleman, who has traumatized me here on Run Tell That. If you don't see me, understand why the Lord took me away because of him. In Saul C. Johnson High School, Beach High School, Tompkins High School, and FAMU.
yes. Hello, I'm Richard Coleman, and I'm running for the office of Sheriff of Chatham County. And when I'm elected, I promise to inspect what I expect. Chatham County, it's time for a change, and that change is me, Richard Coleman.
Need your garments cleaned with care and with a professional touch? Then bring them to One Price Cleaners in Garden City at the Old Farmers Market on Highway 80. Service you can count on.
We are back, and we have with us Chief Richard Coleman, is running for as a Democratic candidate for the Sheriff Department here in Chatham County. And so our sister Deirdre Murray, always glad to have you here. But Deirdre, we got a little issue. You got to say hello, fellow Adam Smasher. Wow, why must it be like that? You one of our great supporters. So I'm just like now wondering, are you related to the Murrays out of Thunderbolt?
All
Okay.
right, all
Well,
right.
I'm just wondering about that, but I'm just like, so this was going on. So Chief, got this
Yes,
question.
sir.
Why are you running for this position?
I'm running now for the office of Sheriff of Chatham County to give the citizens of this county, the taxpaying citizens of this county, the full constitutional authority of the sheriff's seat. I feel like that has been lacking over many of years due to many different reasons, most of them being political. Also, it's 21st century law enforcement now. This is a time of law enforcement where we need to have more community engagement. We need to have more outreach. We need to have more initiatives that brings the community and law enforcement back together as one. And having that constitutional authority puts me in a very particular position to do just that. We will address the issues that need to be addressed. Obviously, we are in the crime prevention business. However, there are more aspects, there are more avenues to just when dealing with law enforcement. And so I want to give the voters of Chatham County, the citizens of Chatham County, the opportunity to have at their discretion the full authority of the constitutional authority of that sheriff's position.
And what are the responsibilities of the sheriff?
Well, first and foremost, the main responsibility of the sheriff is recognized as the chief law enforcement officer of the county. There's no equal to the sheriff's seat. The sheriff himself has a chief deputy that is equal to all the other chiefs in the area. But the main responsibility is being the chief law enforcement area officer of the county. Also, the sheriff has constitutional duties that he is responsible, he or she may be responsible for, or the seat is responsible for. That civil service, courthouse, or county building security, as well as the jail administration. And so when you look at all of those avenues and you put all those avenues together, you get well, the full authority of the sheriff's seat. Not to mention, the assistance of other agencies that may need it, or any type of public safety and crime prevention initiative. When all else fails, Dr. Torre, that is why the sheriff is constitutional. When all else fails, according to law enforcement in your area, there is the sheriff that you're supposed to be able to go to, who's supposed to be there to fix that problem or maintain order.
Okay. And what are programs that you like to see implemented via the sheriff department?
Well, that's a very good question. I would like to see, stronger initiatives toward rehab and rehabilitation. Just being out in the community, man, with this campaign going on, my campaign going on for approximately 2 years now. I've engaged with so many citizens in the community, so many of my constituents, who are saying the conditions of the jail, need to improve. We need more rehabilitation programs where, with that, the state mandated is GED with the high school equivalent. But I want to push for diplomas, right? I want to push for higher education if we're going to have these people in detention that long. We want to push for more abuse treatment, right? Particularly our mental health. Getting these people out of our jails and into facilities that's going to give them treatment. They don't need incarceration. They need treatment. They need help. And so we want to push for initiative to make sure that we have procedures and things in place where we're not just locking people up who need mental assistance or attention, that we're actually giving them program treatment, getting them in the positions and the places they need to be other than the county jail. We also want to, I want to push for a program of what I call CARE. And that'll be something that's self-initiated with myself. It stands for Career and Rehabilitation Effort. And so what they essentially do is go out into the community for those who are not employed when they are released from detention. And we will establish partnerships with the community. And so when these people are released from the county jail, they will be in front of 2 or 3 interviews according to their trades and what we've learned about them through the process while they've been detained. That's how we go out, recognize what job fits them, and come into partnership with these businesses to say, yes, we can't make them get them a job, but the partnership does promise an interview, an opportunity. And so we want to do that. And I think that with in many more initiatives that we may have, I think that if we do that, when you make a person feel like somebody, when you give a person a chance at a direction who had no direction, it kind of changes the outcome of what they intended to do versus what they can do or will be able to do. And so that's what we want to do. We want to give a change of direction to ensure that we are impacting lives. All of that is a part of fighting crime. People think that fighting crime is going out to put the handcuffs on people. That's not the only avenue of fighting crime. You've got to reach people. You've got to have an outreach. You have to have resources, to help people through their situations, help people through their conditions. And that's what they're going to get from Sheriff Richard Cole.
So, Chief Coleman, I'm
Yes,
listening
sir.
to you right now. I'm listening
Yeah.
to you. And just with some of the things that you just said, we need to hear more of that.
Yes.
What can be done to get that type of information, what you just shared,
Yes.
programs like that, incentives like that,
Yes.
that shows that, again, the holistic view with regard to how to address the issue of crime and also the lives of people, health and safety.
Right.
That's why I'm not saying because Chief Coleman, that message, that alone got to be getting out there to people, and people got to understand, because we talk about politicians many times, they play this game about being tough on crime, hard on crime. And so
Right.
then the public, especially conservative people, and when
Mhm.
I say there's nothing wrong being conservative, but
Right.
conservative people who are ignorant, misguided, and selfish and just plain evil use that to maintain a system of oppression. But
Mhm.
then conservative people who want to have a wonderful quality of life, when they hear something like what you just said, they understand that now it is holistic. And so what can be done to get more of the word out with regard to what you're doing? What more avenues can be out there that, because people looking at this right now, how can they reach you? What can be done to get more of this right here? That is some ingenious stuff that we generally do not hear coming
Right.
out of people who are in positions of law enforcement.
Well, the key to it right now as we speak, is to get Richard Coleman elected as sheriff in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll definitely see that manifest uh, from that position. But until then, you have to lobby to the person that's in charge. I mean, you have to care more about things and about people other than politics. And so often our politicians, they're just that. They're politicians. Every now and again, you're going to get a politician who really cares about people, who's sincere about making a change for the people that they represent, the area, the district, or whatever the case may be. But to get a message out like that, you have to reach the people that are in charge. From the sheriff's position, only one person from that position can make those type of changes. That's the sheriff position itself. And so in order to get that message out right now, we've got to get out. We've got to tell everyone, you need to vote Richard Coleman for sheriff. It's time for a change in Chatham County. It's no knock on our old sheriff, but his time has come. It's over now. It's time to go in a new direction, a 21st century direction. We need more. These people need more insight. These people need more opportunity. These people need more individuals that care. These people need leadership that really, really cares about the outcome of individuals and the outcome of our communities. And that's how we start with that change, Dr.
And so Bernard Brown, he had to go and bring about Coach Coleman. Bernard Brown, you just joining us, I'm assuming. So Bernard Brown, let me share with you. I gave my trauma story regarding Coach Coleman, how Coach Coleman would constantly insult me with regards to FAMU stuff. I used to have to address him about that. And so I just got into that. And then I got into how Johnson cheated the last game of the season when we shut them down. Coach Coleman, I go there because we have our school board representative, Dr. Tanya Howard, who also is from FAMU, who also
She's a rapper,
FAMU stuff at me. Coach Coleman and his son. And so now Dr. Tanya Howard Hall. And so now Johnson cheating 2-0. We shut them down. We shut down their office and they cheated. They got JB. But anyway, that's another story, Bernard Brown. But yes. So Coach.
Yes, sir.
So Coach Coleman, so Coach Coleman raised you up. That's fine. He raised you up. Like until I still had to address him often. Even when he retired, still had to address it. So yeah, that's right. Oh Lord, yeah. You with your lies from Tompkins, and then the people, Coach Deloach from from Beach, and now here you go, Chief Coleman from Johnson. All y'all. So Coach, Chief, Chief.
Yes, sir.
How can people support your campaign?
You can go to www.richardcolemanforsheriff.com, and on there you can stroll and see everything that I stand for, everything that I represent. Also, they have a donate button on there where you can donate. You can also help me through volunteering. Right now, in the next few weeks, we're going to do a lot of canvassing. Of course, we're looking for volunteers for sign waving as we go near the election day, as well as early voting starting here in the next week or so. And so you can, like I said, you go to www.richardcolemanforsheriff.com and you can assist us, help us, and donate there.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir. So what have you seen with regards to your years in law enforcement that will make you want to say, changes are needed?
Well, just that over the years, I mean, when I started law enforcement back in 1995, 94, 95, and just over the years, you know, uh, how systematically things have changed for law enforcement, uh, how the approach of law enforcement in the community has differed. Also, how, you know, the engagement it's just different. It's just a different society now when it comes to the community and law enforcement, and seeing the changes over the years. I would like to say that it's gotten better, but I can't really say that it's gotten better. I think there needs to be more effective community engagement. We need to return to the days where an officer could walk a beat and knew citizens, right? And knew citizens by first name. The officer could go and get a call and automatically know who they're going to and what was the purpose of them going there. And so they essentially can resolve the matter even before they showed up because they already knew. That's knowing your community. That's engaging. That's creating that relationship where people see us in a position of protecting and serving versus punishing. And we just want to change that outlook, that aspect and have a different approach to engagement, so we can return law enforcement in the community back to being that united front that it used to be at one time. Now, I know every day is not going to always be Sunday, and everything has not always been peaches and cream, but there has been a time and certain time, a certain situation where we had a positive relationship between law enforcement and the community.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we have with us candidate for sheriff, Chatham County Sheriff Chief Richard Coleman, and now Bernard Brown. Like again, he came in on late. He asked him what will be what's your first agenda item for you to become sheriff. You had done discussed that. See how Bernard Brown, he comes jumping in, but that is what happened. You have people from Tompkins and Johnson because he / Johnson Tompkins. So that's what happened. We done threw that on out there. He gonna close out with probably some of that. But yeah, see how he just come. That's what I'm saying. That the Johnson Tompkins people. That's why I try to tell y'all. And we throwing beach. Oh my God, it's a dangerous picture. So we're gonna come to this right here, and this is controversial for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Can law enforcement be criticized? Can law enforcement be criticized? Can law enforcement and law enforcement officers be criticized? Because some people think that, again, you cannot criticize law enforcement. And if you criticize law enforcement, then there's something, you are a bad citizen. You are a problem citizen that you want the criminals to basically run rampant. So again, what's your thoughts with regards to law enforcement being able to be criticized? And so I'll back up and I share this with you. I told folks I have an African proverb. I created an African proverb, another African proverb that goes, politicians are not your friends. Public servants are your friends. And so I'm throwing it out there because this position is an elected position, but then it is the chief law enforcement officer in Chatham County. And so, but the question I throw out is that, what's your thoughts with regards to law enforcement and law enforcers being questioned by the citizens? What's your thoughts with regards to that and being critiqued?
Absolutely. The foundations of our Constitution give us the right to be critical of our government and any entity there is. A part of my experience, as I expressed earlier, is being the chief of internal affairs, where I police the police, which those complaints came from concerned citizens. Some were valid, some had no merit. But through it all, you have to make sure that you offer a fair and impartial investigation on whatever the concerns are. I tell people all the time, you have a right as a taxpayer, not just a citizen, as a taxpayer, you have a right to know how your tax dollars are being represented, and you have a right to know on just being a citizen how your representation is presenting themselves that's representing you. Yes, you have every right to critique law enforcement officers during the course of their duties. I tell officers all the time, don't get mad at that, because if you're doing what's right, you're doing what's right. That's all that matters. If you're not wrong, what's wrong is what's right is not wrong. It's always right. And then so if you're doing what's right, it shouldn't matter whether someone had a camera in your face. It shouldn't matter if they're recording from a distance. It shouldn't matter if they gave their professional opinion of you being a jerk or idiot or whatever the case may be. We take the good and the bad. We take the good complaints, the attaboys. We congratulate also when they get good complaints from citizens, and we're going to give it to you when the bad complaints come in. We need to hear about the performance of our officers. This is how we know. This is how we keep a track of things. In case something actually happens, we can refer back to say, hey, these citizens made these complaints, this, and this about this particular behavior on this such date and time. And so these things are very important. I tell people all the time, if you have an encounter with an officer or any member of law enforcement that you thought there was a problem, even if you thought it was a problem, you have a right to address that. You have a right to address that without fear, without harm, or without intimidation. And under Sheriff Coleman, you will have that right to address that without fear, without harm, or without intimidation. Because what is right will never be wrong. And so we encourage citizens to be critical of their law enforcement representation. We encourage them to be friendly, but give them the roses when they do good as well. Don't not just the bad. Give us the good too, but give us everything. Give us everything. We just don't want the flower. We want the bad too, because we have got to know what is representing us in our communities. If the officer is right, we stand by our officer. If the officer is wrong, then we would deal with that officer accordingly. But yes, citizens, you have the right to critique your law enforcement. You have the right to be critical of those who represent you, who protect and serve you. That is a service. And you have the right to be critical and critique any service that you receive from your government in any form or on any circumstance or situation. Yeah.
And we say great words, great words. We have with us the Democratic candidate for the Sheriff Department here in Chatham County, Richard Coleman. Again, you can support him, Richard Coleman for Sheriff.com. And again, he needs volunteers. He needs people to assist getting the word out and getting out some of the agenda items that, again, he foresees for him to fulfill the service to the citizens here in Chatham County. And we're going to give him an opportunity to recap some of that so Bernard Brown will hear some of that. But then now, Chief Coleman.
Yes.
There's some things that some people have been looking at here in Chatham County. And I'm going to say, I'll be talking about Chatham County right now. It's happening across the entire country.
Yes.
It seems to be not to have the fervor with regards to people wanting to get out to vote and hearing from politicians, because during the pandemic and prior to the pandemic, that we had a number of forums, we had a number of candidate meetups, and so people were not able to hear these candidates running for positions. But now what we have seen, like in the past two elections, it's been kind of silent, that we have not had that same fervor, that same type of fire, which almost makes it almost like a lackadaisical somewhat education of the electorate, and also the electorate being in tune to what's going on, that the voters again, feeling invigorated to get out there, that we got to make change. Because just like as sitting here listening to you about on one of the things that you're saying with regards to what you would do as sheriff, I'm like, people need to be hearing that. And that, again, that electricity with regards to information, some are saying we're not seeing it. And so what do you think is causing that? And then I tell people it also becomes something dangerous, that some people think that people are just going to vote down ballot. And that may not happen like that. So you may have some excellent candidates with excellent ideas who may not get in there because the electorate, the word getting out, because we have seen that in some other elections, the word did not get out to the masses of the people as to why they need to turn out and vote and be right there for that. What's your thoughts with regards to all that?
I think you're absolutely right. During any election season, it's indicative that every candidate gets out there and first to push themselves, right, for the office of the position that they're seeking. But if they're party line candidates, you kind of lean a high degree on not a high degree, but somewhat of a degree, let's say a medium degree on your party line, also helping push your name and push your platform, what you represent, right? So that message that's good, that needs to be heard, that the candidate is saying, that represents the people well and what they need, is not just coming from the voice of the candidate, but it's coming from other areas and aspects as well. during the political season. And what you have is just not I won't say not enough push, but I think that you can never have enough when you're trying to reach a political goal or political agenda, especially if things are being done right, they're being done fair, and they're very positive. And right now, like you said, you talk about people going down ballot during this election season. And in some degrees, it's positive. In some degrees, it hurts. In my case, it would be very positive, right? But in some cases, it may not fare off so well. And so you have to be, politically conscious of what you're doing in the voting booth. As a party line candidate, I do stand in support of my party. I have to, and to support the Democrat Party, and that I want all Democrats to, particularly local in Chatham County, to win their seats, but also, not just voting for them because of that party affiliation, but also knowing that when I vote for this political candidate, that I do know something about what they stand for and something about what they represent. Because once they get in office, that's 4 years before you can make a change unless something egregious happens. And so, we have to be, as individuals, I say we have to learn how to make sure that we're engaged and in tune with political candidates. No, and particularly in my race, everyone knows the situation of the current chair, his health, his age, and so it did not allow us to debate. And so, I had a debate in the primary, but I did not have one in the primary because of the condition of our current chair. And so, people did not have a chance to really hear that message, and me putting that message up against the current chair, and which I would have loved to do, but unfortunately that was not able to happen because of his situation. And so, now you have to rely on people doing consideration factors of both candidates and saying, well, maybe this young man stands for something a little bit different. Maybe it's time to go in a different direction. And you kind of pray that that's what people are going to do, which I think that's what's going on in this election, personally speaking. But them to also know that they're voting for somebody qualified and who can do the job, who's going to get the job done. So getting your message out as an individual, making sure that you are aware of candidates and their issues are very important. I'm not against supporting party line. I just want to say that make sure that if you're going to go down ballot, make sure that you at least know something about the candidate that you're going to vote for, or something about the candidate you're voting against, right? You can say, I'm not going to vote for this person because of this, this, and this. Let it be something substantial there to make you go in the direction that you're going to go in. But I do support the Democratic Party. I do support all the Democratic candidates, and I'm looking for a good result in the upcoming weeks in this election.
All right, we have with us Democratic candidate for the sheriff of Chatham County, Chief Richard Coleman. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back, and we're going to explore that even more because some other things I want to bring up tied to that. And this is Run Tell That. We said everyone share, share, share.
Oh, I mean, my friend, your Savannah homeboy, Clarence Thomas, made sure that I don't go to prison.
So Julius is in there talking to Trump. Oh, I'm telling.
And we're back. This is Ron Tell That with Chief Richard Coleman, running for Sheriff's Department, Sheriff's Office here, and the Democratic candidate in Chatham County. And we say support all of our supporters. That is our advertisers. That's Davis Johnson Bozeman Law Firm, offices in Savannah, Atlanta, and Statesboro. One Price Cleaners located in the Farmers Market on Highway 80 in Garden City. Kim's Cafe at 714 MLK Jr. Boulevard. And Shep Food and Gas. Don't ride by, stop by. We say support all of them. And so Now, Chief, I'm gonna tell you one of the reasons why I threw that out there, and I think that many of our candidates, and I'm saying the candidates in general, I'm saying if they're from independent to Democrats to Republican to Marxist to whatever new party, new Green Party, that even though you might have candidates supporting your party, some of them are probably not going to go down the ballot because then they're going to say, I don't know. And so that's why I'm looking at and engaging with the God. And you just said something. You say that that people are praying on it. We need more than prayer. We need some action. We need action with regard to this and that prayer, that what's going on, that again, looking at folks understanding that when they go down, that they just don't vote for two positions and then they leave everything else. That's it. I took care of those right there. And so again, understanding the importance and the magnitude of looking at all these positions that are now up for election in November, and people then going and looking out for the best candidate. And so that's why my thing is like, you said some ingenious things with regards to concepts that I'm like saying more of Chatham County needs to hear this right here. And that there's a segment of Chatham County that I know is a sizable voting population here. If they heard what you had said, that again, it resonates. And I have to say, from all platforms, if it's from what they call conservative media to social media to word of mouth, community media, that well, all of that right there, I think people will be invigorated and say, wait a minute, we got to do something. That again, and so people will probably knocking down the door to volunteer, to assist, to donate with the gods, because again, you don't hear this from law enforcement. And so I'm just throwing it out there just to get your thoughts with regards to that, because that's a concern that I have and express to other people, like saying, hey, listen, we need folks to really like understand what's being said, because you got people out here right now who will support people who don't have their best interests at heart because somebody else said them from that community media, or some strange propaganda on social media. And then you have the conservative media. So yeah, so I'm just throwing it out there to you and get your thoughts with regards to that.
Like you said, Dr. Ray, we like you said, you can't go in. We don't encourage people to go in the poll and just vote at two people and let it go. You know, we want you to stroll down that ballot and make a sound key and what I would call a conscious decision on these candidates. You know, going for the norm. At times it's not healthy, right? You voted for people who may pretend like they care about you, but don't actually care about you. They voted for people who you may think is doing you a favor, but actually anybody in the seat can do that same thing. But what are the other objectives? What are the other things that they that you may need that they stand for, and the principles that they stand for? So you know, we're asking our citizens. Again, like I said, I'm gonna be very clear. I support the Democratic Party. I'm a Democrat. I'm running on the Democratic ticket. I want everyone to go down ballot and vote Democrat, to support all of my brothers and sisters who are running in the Democratic Party, because it's a part of my belief. It's a part of what I stand for. However, I also want to encourage people to vote their conscience, to think. You know, sometimes these seats need changes. We need to make changes in these seats. You know, some people just want to be elected just to say, I'm it again. You know, no, what affects you? What affects going on around you? What affects some of the issues that you dealt with voting for certain people? You know, think about these things. So, you know, yes, I encourage, I want individuals to go down ballot, you know, catch all of these races. Please consider all of my fellow Democrat candidates. Please give them your strong consideration. But at the end of the day, please vote your conscience, vote it the right way. And I think in this particular race, again, Dr. Jamal Torre, change is needed and it's good.
Yes, sir. And so Willie Shields joined us, and as I had shared with you, you had brought up the Johnson madness. Then you sidetracked on over to, you know, the Tompkins foolishness. And then you then had to throw up about the beach, I ain't even gonna say nothing because of Willie Shields right here, right now. So, but again, this foolishness right here, all of there's a conglomeration of gook, madness, foolishness,
Well,
insanity,
well,
Beach Johnson Tompkins.
shouts out to Jenkins, to my former basketball coach, who I won the state championship with, Coach James Green, who ended up being the principal of Jenkins High School. So salute to Coach Green, who was the principal of Jenkins High School, who was also my basketball coach at Johnson High School when we won the state championship. Shout out to Jenkins High School Warriors.
Yes, and so Principal Green, I can't say that because he was trying to say, Jamal, what you doing? So that's right. He taught HBJ, but see again, they got championship. But we're gonna leave that all alone right now. So yeah, I'm just saying, so we're gonna get back on track.
Yes,
Vex my nerves now. Vex my nerves. So give out what are some of the agenda items that you want to fulfill with regards to you becoming sheriff of Chatham County. Give some of the agenda items for people just not joining us. And so like Willie Shields, who again, Beach High Bulldog, Bernard Brown, a Johnson Tompkins person, all the other people who are in the electorate in Chatham County, because we want people to be invigorated and get in touch with Richie Coleman at richiecolemanforsheriff.com. Go ahead, you got the floor.
I appreciate it. So we want to definitely strengthen community engagement. Again, that is so important in the 21st century. What we call, and from the law enforcement perspective, 21st century policing, right? We want to improve community engagement. We want to make sure that we are turning the detention center into a place where people who can be helped will get the help that they need. Effective rehab and rehabilitation initiatives, understanding that is just a 2-year jail, that is a detention facility. There's a difference between a correctional and a detention facility. There are many different ways of combating crime, and we want to attack that in all avenues. One avenue is if you help a person reform and rechange and rethink. I think that the words of life in the Bible tells us that so a man thinketh, so is he. And so sometimes we have to reach out to that thought process to turn that individual into from a negative to a positive direction. And so we want to do those things. I want to have an open door policy to all of your concerns. Come see me. I'm still me. Many call me chief. In a few more months, you can call me sheriff. But to all of my friends and family out there in the community, just call me good old Ricky. I'm still Ricky Coleman. Nothing changes about that. Come see me. Come, let's address your concerns. Let's sit down. Let's talk about it. Let's go get some coffee or whatever the case may be. We want to, advocate for our seniors, our public safety. We want to make sure that they are safe, that their needs are being addressed at all times. I tell people as I was out doing my public safety campaign this week, Dr. Torre, I was telling these guys that the sheriff seat is a two-part seat. It's law enforcement, but there's also a political platform, right? And so the things that they cannot get, the fire department and the EMS services that we have, which are much needed. I have a father who's a heart patient who has special situation and being in his age. That if it wasn't for the service of these guys, I don't know what position my family would be in right now. And so, I'm telling these guys, hey, listen, your needs, your concerns, the things that you can't say to your powers that be, I can say them. Let me say them for you. If it's going to help you fulfill your duties and serve the community, I definitely want to do that. I would definitely have to get into that jail and address, as far as the sheriff department itself is concerned. We have to look at organization. We have to look at the budget, which is a $56 million budget, which takes on a lot of what we consider fiscal responsibility, right? So, you got to know that I know something about something to handle that type of money being issued out by Chatham County. And so we have to look at our budget. We have to look at staffing. The jail is now it's probably 100 and something deputies short. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Being in the size that Chatham County is, and considering the population of Chatham County, with having Savannah, which is considered a small metropolitan on the population scale. And so we have to address those issues. You know, we have to find out why people are going on their lunch breaks and not coming back. You know, what are the conditions of these jails? You know, if you want to fix it outwardly, you also got to start internally and address your problems and address the issues. So we've got to address that. We got to find out what's going on with these deaths in the jail. From what I understand, 7 African American men died in that jail. Why? Why did they die? What happened? You know, we got to know these things. These things can't be overlooked. They have to be addressed. What can we do to prevent further incidents from occurring in the future? You know, like I told the news, I told some other news outlets and media, you know, if it's good, we're going to celebrate it. But if it's bad, we're not going to hide it, Dr. Torrey. We're going to own it. What you see is what you get. It is what it is. Good, bad, or indifferent. It is what it is. We're not going to hide it from the people. I promise the people 100% transparency and accountability, and that's what I'm going to give them. Nothing will be padded. Nothing will be covered up. You're going to get nothing but truth and honesty from Sheriff Richard Coleman. And we're going to serve your needs as best as we can. And if there's something that we need to do, bring it to our attention. You know, and if it's beneficial, I promise you and I assure you that we will get it done from the sheriff's seat. But starting coming in November, we're looking for very good things, very positive things, so as we can institute all of these programs and all of these initiatives to serve the community much better in Chatham County.
Okay, so we have 1 minute left, and I just want you to, for the 1 minute, tell people why they should vote for you and that innovative program that you have with regard to people not being released from jail and with regards to employment. And condition it in 1 minute. You got the floor.
Yes. I've spoken on the innovative program. Again, that's just a program that when we get the information from people being released, that we know when their release date will be, that we go out in the community, partnership with the community, and according to their trade skills and abilities, we line up and we come in partnership with businesses who say that they would at least give them an opportunity. We can't make sure anybody hires anybody, but we can make sure that they have interviews and opportunities. And that's something that we're going to provide. And I feel that the people should vote for me because it's time to go in a new direction in Chatham County. It's the 21st century. The people deserve, new initiatives, new ideas. They deserve an individual who's going to step out and make the necessary changes, improve the community engagement, and improve all these other things that they're lacking in so many different areas. And I'm that choice. I'm that choice. I have the experience, I have the education, and I have the ability. And I want to represent you. And as my motto says, and I always say this, I think there's a plane flying over by. If anyone can't hear me, but I always say this. You know, I can't do it by myself, Dr. Torrey. But as my motto says, together we can. And I need your vote and I need your support. Vote Richard Coleman, Chatham County Sheriff, November 5th. Thank you.
And we thank you for being here. The ticket tape already indicate the best schools in Savannah, Chatham County, Georgia. Willie Shields ran for me today when I was in Pooler. So again, because the HVJ always represent. And so we close it out. We said, check out all the shows on Our Black Media. Richard Coleman, consider him for your sheriff with innovative ideas right now here in Chatham County, Georgia, November. Glad to have you. We said peace and blessing. Check out all our shows on Our Black Media. We signing out. Peace.
Thank you for having me.